Semangat pagi. Yeah, I know it's very difficult to stay awake during this time, especially after lunch, but bear with us because we're going to have a very interesting discussion, regarding insuring tomorrow, how to win the next gen market. Before we start, I would like to introduce our speaker, Mr. Mikiko Steven. Mr. Mikiko Steven is the Country Director of Xendit Indonesia. Mikiko is currently Managing Director for Indonesia at Xendit, responsible for Indonesia function of the company, which include government relation, compliance, partnership, and commercial operation of the company. Mikiko kick-started his career as an accountant in a retail chain company in Australia before moving back to Indonesia and to work in international apparel company, Quicksilver. Then at the relatively young age, Mikiko continued his career in the aviation industry with AAJI Indonesia as a financial analyst and worked his way up to be the Chief Financial Officer until 2018. The next speaker will be Mrs. Kelin. Kelin currently serves as a team lead in enterprises sales in Indonesia, 4 years experience in payment industry, and have overseeing complex project by conducting in-depth meetings with prospective clients to understand their specific needs and how Xendit can offer valuable solution. So for this session, we'll be discussing about why capturing the next generation market is critical, understanding in how Gen Z insight and behaviors, including toward insurance. So Gen Z is very attractive segment because it consists around 27–30% of our population today. So important for insurance, not only for the coming presidential election. And also how would payment become one of the key solutions for the next generation. And also some key areas, other areas will be discussed during this session. So without further ado, I will give the session first to Mr. Mikiko.
Thank you, Pa, for the kind introduction. If you don't mind, I'll get the clicker from your table. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to know how many of you are actually familiar with Xendit. Thank you. I saw a few hands being raised. I believe some of the companies we have partnered with are also within the audience today. We thank you for your partnership. What is Xendit? If I may reintroduce what is Xendit. We are a financial technology company with a strong commitment to build world-class financial infrastructure. Started in Indonesia, now we have presence across Southeast Asia, especially revolutionizing the digital payment sector. Our goal is to unify Southeast Asia's payment landscape through a world-class integrated payment platform and easy access for our customers to simplified hyperlocal payment solutions. For customers to be able to accept and send payments, do efficient reconciliation, and at the same time, provide other value-added products within our platform's ecosystem. By the end of 2022, we helped process 200 trillion rupiah worth of transactions on an annual basis and serves more than 3,500 businesses directly. By end of 2023, we hope we are tracking to achieve 300 trillion rupiah worth of annualized transactions. We are very honored to be trusted by many of you. Some of you are here. And is very hopeful to continue our partnership to keep supporting the exponential growth of your businesses for many years to come. For any of you here today that would like us to be able to reach out and discuss how we can be partners to help you grow your business by enabling best-in-class payment solution, please scan the QR code. We will be more than happy for a chance to have a discussion on how we can make payments simpler for your business and your customers. Now, I think we're getting to the meat of the presentation. How to win the next-gen market. This is one of the most asked questions, I believe, by business leaders, such as yourselves. I'm sure the question applies to insurance companies as well. The answer to this is to answer the customer's landscape and making sure your product fits the consumer's behavior. The next big pool of consumer that we would need to focus on falls under the generation known as Gen Z. In this next generational consumer, their behavior changes considerably compared to the millennials. To successfully reach the Gen Z, companies will need to reshape our notion of customer is king. Why? Because they behave with complete difference to the millennials. This new generational consumer prioritizes consumer experience. This means we need to know and understand their affinity towards technology. We need to wholeheartedly embrace digitalization and making the end-to-end journey as convenient as possible, rethinking our product offerings and offering extensive personalization. Our beloved nation, Indonesia, has 1.6% insurance penetration out of over 278 million lives. This means there's plenty of room for growth, especially if we look at the data saying that the forecasted insurance gross volume, CAGR growth of 9% from 5.3 billion USD to 7.1 billion USD in 2027. Gen Z is a very promising market and plays a critical role in the long-term success for businesses because of the large pool of Gen Z population, which currently sits at 75 million lives. They currently are the largest concentration of generation and the youngest in the labor market, in which 50% hasn't entered the workforce yet. It is also important to note that 71% of the mature Gen Z says that raising a family and having children are their top priorities compared to the millennial generation. With this in mind, Gen Z will be in the market at any time for products such as life insurance, family health insurances, as they crave lifestyle stability and provide a degree of guarantee to their financial well-being. Aside from that, our research also found an interesting fact on how Gen Z are more inclined to put aside money for the future than other generations before them. Also worth noting that they are very keen on being financially savvy and educated and like to seek financial guidelines from online sources. Globally, Gen Z says that they want their financial institution of choice to provide online finance courses, communication hotline for financial advices, and webinars with financial experts. This translates into the conclusion that Gen Z have great desires of being educated properly on financial planning and how to build financial stability. One of the means to achieve this is through investing, as well as ensuring their financial well-being. And that will follow to the next question on how to win the Gen Z as customers. This means we need to be able to know how to communicate in a way that will pique their interest. To be able to reach out to them, we have to understand who they are, what their interests are, what their habits and motivations are as well. Today, I would like to show the number of stages that the customer passes through, especially Gen Z, before they decide on whether they want to purchase a product or not. These three stages are awareness, consideration, and decision. As you may be aware, Gen Z are true digital natives. with online activities and social media dominating the way they live. At the awareness stage, the first stage, omni-channel financial education is a key entry point for businesses to share latest information, because Gen Z discovers new brands using various social media channels and search engines. Next stage is how to win on the consideration stage, how to have an edge in the consideration edge. Businesses will need to provide Gen Z with comprehensive and transparent information about products and services, and react fast on consumer online reviews to increase the probability of successful customer acquisition by leveraging these digital channels and letting good reviews get viral to others. After we cover the two stages, the last funnel and the most crucial one is actually the decision stage. Having researched the different insurance providers and products that are available, Gen Z will narrow down their options. They are more likely to choose a company that allows them to do everything online because of convenience, including purchasing, managing a policy, and speed of processing claims and payments. But most of all, it's the ease of accessing world-class support when they need to as well. This reflects their habit of having 79% of their purchasing done online, and 69% use cashless payments. To make it easy for Gen Z to research their options and compare products, as well as eventually making the purchase, businesses must be aware that having easy-to-use websites and by having easy-to-use websites as well as interactive mobile apps. Aside from convenience, they expect personable offerings and recommendations that specifically fits their individual needs and preferences. According to a 2022 survey, personalization was the most important brand attribute valued by Gen Z. The different ways of communicating, approaching through digital platforms play a crucial factor as well. Personalization entails product offerings to meet the specific needs at different stages of their lives. Such as Gen Z who recently entered the workforce, they may be keen on buying health insurances, while for life insurances, products that can be aggressively offered to Gen Z who are married and are about to have children. After understanding their behavior, interests, and motivations, in a nutshell, when it comes to purchasing insurance products, this generation will favor three key highlights: improvement in claims and processing payments, the convenience of purchasing insurance coverage online, and flexibility and personalization for product offerings and pricings. Xendit has been working closely with several insurance companies, and we understand the challenges faced by the industry and doing our best to overcome these pain points by listening carefully and providing best-in-class digital payment solutions catered to modern-day needs, especially when you are at the stage of expanding to a wider market, which is Gen Z. We are ready to provide an excellent digital customer experience on your payment processing as well. So I think this concludes my slide. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to take on the stage. And now I will pass the stage over to my colleague, Kalin, who will share more insights based on her experiences. Go ahead, Kalin. Thank you.
Thanks, Mikiko. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Before we continue, maybe now you have understand the background of Gen Z, the habit of Gen Z, the attitude of Gen Z. I actually have a quick question. I was wondering, any of you spotted any similarity between yourself and Gen Z? Probably scrolling social media 30 to 70% of your life, or maybe making just now 79 purchase online. Any of you still doing that right now? Any hands I can see in the air? Any Gen Z here? Okay, thank you for raising the hands, Pak Bu. That's the spirit we need. We are probably still Gen Z after all. But yeah, so back to the presentations. After listening to Mikiko's stories, it comes to a conclusion for me that in order to win Gen Z, the important keyword that we need first is simple. Second, we need to be flexible. Third, we need to be accessible, but at the same time reliable. And in this case, payments on the other side play a very important role because it helps on the decision-making process on the last funnel before conversions to your insurance premium purchase. And throughout my experience in Xendit, I saw there are 4 major pain points that often face from my insurance customers. And in these sessions, I want to share more further on what are those challenges and how we actually can help you to overcome from our solutions. So I also would love to hear the feedback from you through the panel discussion earlier, and we can discuss further. Okay, we'll go to the first challenge. So the first challenge that I often heard from my insurance customers is that we have a complex premium purchase and we have a limited payment options. Often these can be driven by multiple external factors. One of it is actually being that payment methods, for example, like credit cards, it is often favored by middle-aged demographic. As such, it actually gives you a limited customer base because credit card penetration is so low in Indonesia, especially for Gen Z. And other than that, in order to process a premium payment, I've learned that it sometimes can take longer time due to the traditional administrative process, and sometimes it can be cumbersome, and it gives an unpleasant experience for the Gen Z who is digitally oriented. So in order to overcome the challenges for premium purchase, there is a necessary to shift towards into a more adaptive payment methods and a more simplified administrative process. While in Xendit, we can address one of the concerns by giving wider payment options, giving better payment methods, not only just virtual account and credit cards. We offer digital payment methods such as e-wallet, CRIS, direct debit, that is also offering auto debit solutions that can help your policy payments provider to make the payment on time. Another challenges that we often heard is on the challenges on claiming submissions. In the average processing time that I've learned from my clients, the average processing time for a submissions, it takes around 7 to 30 days. While in Xendit, what we are trying to offer is that we have an API that can help you to automate the payout process for your customers, so that you can focus on enhancing your submissions application, investigating and validating, while you can leave your payments to us and we can help you to process it within seconds. And other than challenges that we've heard from the policy payment provider, from the insurance company, we do also heard there is a hurdle on the internal processes. So often, there are manual operations that has been ongoing on the company due to there are sometimes last-minute submissions from the agents. There are still manual procedures and recording on the agent commissions transactions. And it costs a lot of time for the internal team to actually make the payout process and reconciliation process. While in Xendit, we offer platform solutions that can help you to record transactions by creating a ledger within one single platform. You can record the transactions. You can also receive payments from each of your agents, and at the same time, automate the process of payments by our API. So this actually has been done within one single platform, so you can automate the process of your payments from end to end. And lastly, we know how important is it for you in terms of transaction data security. This has been one of the challenges that we often heard in the market. You want to process the seamless payments, but you also wanted to make sure that your payments can be processed safely. So what happened in Xendit is that we continuously improve our security and licenses to be adhere with the local regulations, also at the international standard. So in Xendit right now, we have PCI DSS license. We are also adhere to the ISO, that we want to make sure that we can help our merchants to process this transaction safely as well. So now we have gone through the solutions and the challenges from Xendit. We also want to give you a better view on how these solutions can actually be implemented in real life actions. So I wanted to share some of the use cases from our customers. The first one is from IFG Life, who has been achieved 2 times retention rate with our auto debit solutions. By using our auto debit solutions, it allows policy providers to bypass the authentication process for the subsequent payment. At the same time, it also allows the policy provider to making payments on time on the second attempt. Third one is on BPJS TK. BPJS TK increased thousands of subscriptions plan activations, where it actually helps to cover the challenges from the informal workers who actually want to make contribution payments on monthly basis. The requirements from BPJ STK, when they came to us, they say that, hey, I need more than just banking payment options, I need non-banking payment options as well. So by implementing subscription features in Xendit, BPJ STK now can accept one-time payment, subscription payment from multiple payment methods, whether it's a banking options or it's a non-banking options, for example, like e-wallet. Lastly is Koala. It's one of the pioneer of InsurTech in Indonesia. So for Koala, they managed to improve 86% of the processing times in terms of the claimings, the payouts and incentive to the policyholders and also to the insurers. It takes them initially 5 to 7 days, and right now the processing time is within 1 day. Yep. So this few success story is what we build innovations together with our customers. We really hope to have an opportunity to talk with each one of you to build the right solutions together for the next generation's market. So feel free to scan for further informations, and feel free to visit our booth as well. We will discuss further on the panel discussion further and also look forward for some of the questions. Okay, before we actually go to the panel, I have 2 interesting announcements for everyone. So since this is our first time joining AAJI events, we bring 2 activities in our booth. The first one is that we have a raffle or a lucky draw of an iPad Generation 9 by just simply visiting our booth. It's right next to the exit. You can feel free to scan the QR, and we will announce 1 winner tomorrow. So feel free to grab it as soon as possible, and we're going to announce it. And second, the interesting news is that Xendit, we want to support digital transformations of businesses. So for today's event, we offer up to 2 billion IDR fee waiver for businesses who are interested to use our services and also talk with us for your needs. So feel free to visit our booth and talk further with our sales executive. That's all from my presentation. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you, Bu Kelin. Thank you, Pak Mikiko. Now we open for the Q&A session. You can submit your question to Slido, or you can just raise your hand. Is there any question? Maybe I'll start with a question, Pak Mikiko and Bu Kelin. We've been talking a lot about Gen Z, and it's a very attractive segment, especially with the coming presidential election. Everyone talking how to win the Gen Z. But what do you think as an insurance players we need to do to enter into that market? Because especially in Indonesia, I'm not sure whether there is any player who who is already successful in penetrating the Gen Z?
Okay, thank you, Pak. Maybe I can share a bit from our experience. I think when we entered the Indonesian market, we don't even know what payment gateway is. We pivoted. We almost went bankrupt. But what saved us was actually, going out to the actual customers, to the end user, asking specifically what product they require and how they want it to be built. I guess from generation to generation, I think the needs and wants may be slightly different. The only way to do it is to just go out to your customer and ask what they want to build, what kind of product they want built, verify it, cross-reference it, get the data, and I guess roll it out. Because I think the only way for us to be able to have a successful business is to create a product, and the product that we need to create would need to conform with what our user and our potential consumer would use, right? What other ways better rather than going out to the market and actually asking them what kind of product that they want that will solve that
So
problem.
the key is understanding what they need, what they want. Okay. There's one question here. How can Xendit help to reach the non-bankable customers? What solutions? I think that's a very interesting question. Bu Kelin?
Okay, let me take this one. Feel free to add on, Mikiko. Thank you for the questions. I think we've been hearing a lot of this type of questions during our explorations with our merchants. So I think for Xendit, we offer more than 38 payment methods to accept payments from your customers. Normally for non-bankable customers, we can offer them payment methods such as retail outlets. In Indonesia, there are 2 retail outlets that is quite popular, which is Indomaret and Alfamart. Those are the 2. Those are one of the payment methods that is commonly used in the market, whether it is for insurance or non-insurance. They can pay cash in the retail outlets. You can say, hey, I want to do top-up or payments, and then you can actually automate the payments into your platform. That's one. Second is that we also offer payment methods such as e-wallet. E-wallet does not require customers to register with a bank account. So right now, due to the pandemic, we have seen the rise of e-wallets usage by 30% year-on-year basis. Those e-wallets are examples like at OVO, Dana, Link Aja. It is now slowly actually embedded into our life. Now, if we want to order food, we can use our e-wallets. If we want to subscribe to a Netflix, e-wallets is also available. Those are very 2 important questions that payment channels that we actually can use to cover as well. And I guess with the rise of Kris is also now offering a very simple QR, but it embeds a lot of payment options from different type of methods, for example, from banking and non-banking. So from Xendit itself, we offer various of payment methods, but those are some of the most common payment methods that we can help to reach into that market.
Okay, excellent. The next question is, what is the difference in terms of customer experience between Xendit payment versus auto debit directly with the banks?
Yeah, maybe I can start, and Colin can also add. I think this question comes quite often. What's the difference between integrating to Xendit and integrating to the bank directly? So I guess most of the enterprise customer, which actually has resources to do direct integration with the bank, yes, they would do direct integration with the bank because they have the resources, they have the capability, and they actually have the time, right? They want to manage their own money. I think Xendit offers a slightly different value add, whereby most of our customers so far has been startups, and also in the past year and a half, there's been a lot of industries or enterprises that wants to try to modernize their payments. If they integrate to Xendit, because we are a partner to the bank, we use their infrastructure to utilize our product to help customers get payments, is that when they connect to Xendit, after they pass our KYC and administrative requirements, they actually have access to 38 plus payment methods instead of having to connect directly to the bank one by one. Because I think from our experience, connecting with banks directly sometimes may take between 1 to 3 months, while connecting with us, they can do simple integration with our API, have access to the 38 plus payment channels, and when a channel is down, there are still various other channels that they can utilize to ensure the business doesn't suffer from having one channel down.
Okay, that's good. So basically what you mentioned is that by connecting with Xendit, corporation can save resources and also save time and get into the larger network.
Yeah, and reflecting as my time as an accountant.
Yeah.
I think maybe 5-10 years ago, I used to have to deal with, reconciling accounts from so many bank statements. With Xendit, because it's a single integrated payment solutions, any payments a business receives from these various channels can be reconciled within our dashboard. It saves time if you don't need to download statements from several different banks or several different e-money. It's all there for you to grab and do reconciliation in a simple manner.
Yeah, thank you. Any more questions?
Maybe Pak Hengki, I can add up a bit on the questions of the customer experience as well while waiting for the questions.
Yeah.
So I guess what makes difference of integrating directly with Xendit versus bank other than what Mikiko has shared is also that in fact, Xendit, when we built the product, the foundation is truly comes from the banks. So what we do is that we try to improve and enhance the product from the banks by adding on different type of experience that we have from our merchants. So I'm bringing up one real life examples that we have in our product is that we built a subscription features where it actually allows multiple banks to do auto debit within this singles API. What makes it more different is that by integrating to that subscriptions API, when there is a failure on an auto debit, for example, I think the most commonly happen in the market is that it's an insufficient balance. So what happens is that it's an opportunity loss for the insurance company, and you need to do a lot of operations to chase the money from the policyholder. So in Xendit, what we do is that we create one product that can allow you to request or actually initiate your policyholders to bind multiple type of auto debit within one single subscription plan. So they can set the priority. If one bank's failed, you can do the deductions from other banks or even to digital wallets.
Okay.
Yeah, and we also includes notification service as well that can help you to reduce different type of integrations and also your experience to the customers.
Wow, interesting, interesting. Seems that our time is up, so Pak Mikiko, you want last words as a wrap up?
Yeah, I think if I may answer the last question, I think I saw it on the screen. What's the difference between Xendit and other payment gateways? Yeah. We see ourselves as a payment gateway that want to democratize payment. Why is it different? Because from when we started coming into the payment gateway business, we saw that there are other payment gateways available in the market, but this payment gateways specifically serves enterprises that requires custom build. How we are different is that we created, I think, the concept of open API, where any kinds of businesses, any kind of SMEs or individuals can have access to various channels, various world-class digital payment channels without having to think about, oh, do I have the resources? Do I have the money to pay for the development fee, implementation fee, as well as management fee? We charge we charge in a simple per transaction basis. So I think that's our dream. We don't want to serving enterprise companies are great, but what we want to do is we want to grow with our customers. And I think that has been one of the recipe of success since when we started in 2017 up until now. And I think I'm also glad to have chances like this to speak with fellow businesses and industry players, because we do like to hear what we can do better. And if we can get the feedback from you, build a product, I'm sure we can be better together and we can fuel our growth together as well.
Okay, thank you, Pak Mikiko. Thank you, Bu Kelin. That's all for our session today. So now I would like to invite Mr. Paul Cartono to the stage to present the token of appreciation.